Aanwysende voornaamwoorde or demonstrative pronouns. So if you look at the page in front of you, the handout, I'm just going to go through that explanation. So aanwysende voornaamwoorde tree nie op as plaasvervangers vir die selfstandige naamwoord soos in die ander voornaamwoorde nie, maar word saam met die selfstandige naamwoord gebruik. Byvoorbeeld, dit is 'n appel, die is seuns, neem hierdie na die klerk. So when I'm going to translate that. Demonstrative pronouns are not there to replace the noun. It is there to work with the noun. So it's written with the noun. If I go through the English there, it points to a specific thing. So this, that, these, and those. This is an apple. Those are boys. Take these to the clerk. The same words are used as demonstrative adjectives when they are modified, when they modify nouns and pronouns. So it's to point to something specific, whether it's in front of you, whether it's in the distance, whether it is for someone. It points that out. Dit wys iets spesifiek aan. So dit is 'n apple. This is an apple. If I had a bowl of fruit, imagine that, and I'm teaching a little child about fruit, then I would point to it and say, this is an apple. This is a banana. This is an orange, or whatever is in the bowl. So it's to show specifically that that thing is what it is. I could have said this book and pointed to something, and this book needs to go to the office. Instead of you having to figure out which book, I'm specific, this book. Of die is seuns. Those are boys. If you see something in the distance and someone needs to identify it, then they would do that. Those are the grade 6 boys on the terrace. Those. So you would use that. Die. In that sense, you're pointing out something in the distance. And then hierdie. So that would be these. So hierdie werk is vir môre. Points out that this specific batch of work is for the next day. So instead of saying die Afrikaans, Engels en geskiedenis is vir môre, you would just group that in hierdie. All of this is for tomorrow, instead of having to point it out specifically. Below that, in the block below, at the bottom of that page, the voornaamwoorde. So the subcategories in bold there. Persoonlike voornaamwoorde, besitlike voornaamwoorde, aanwysende voornaamwoorde, vraende, onbepaalde, betreklike en wederkerende. I'm just going to quickly scan through them. Those are the different types of pronouns. Dis die verskillende soort voorname. So persoonlike voorname, ek, jy, hy, sy, dit, ons, julle, hulle. Besitlike voornaamwoorde, myne, joune, syne, hare. Aanwysende voornaamwoorde is what we did now. Hierdie, daardie, die. Vraende voornaamwoorde, wie, wat, waar, wanneer, wie se, waarom, hoe, hoekom. I'm not going to do the other three. We haven't gotten to those. But the rest should look familiar to you. And then if you look at the activity, kies een van hierdie woorde uit die blok en vul dit in die sinne in. So choose one of the words in the block and fill it in. We're just going to do that as a class. Waar is my book? Is boek joune. Which one? Die, hierdie, daardie, dit. Which one do you think should fit in there?
You think Jan says it is? Dit.
So put it in there. Is dit boek joune? Does that make sense?
That sounds right. Tabitha? Tabitha thinks it's hierdie.
Is hierdie boek joune? Yes, that can work. Would any of the others work?
Daniel says die.
Yes, is die boek joune? Any others? Only one left, hierdie. Of daardie, jammer. Is hierdie boek joune of is daardie boek joune? Either of them or any three of those could work. Die, hierdie, daardie. Kom ons kyk na nommer 2. Let's look at number 2. Is sy in jou klas? It's supposed to say class. Sorry, I left out the K there. Is sy in jou klas? Is she in your class? En dan, oops, spasie, persoon is nie in my class nie. Got a double is there. Sorry, guys. Sure. So, persoon is nie in my class nie. What would you say?
Kyle says it might be die.
Die persoon is nie in my class nie. Yes.
Anybody else? Yeah. Say again. Jade thinks it might be daardie.
That can also work. Daardie persoon is nie in my class nie. You can't say dit because dit is for things that it's not people. So die, hierdie en daardie you can use with people. Let's do number 3. Hier is mevrou Maxwell se boek. G. Is that Shiloh?
Ja, dit.
Ja, gee dit vir haar. Gee dit vir haar. En dan kyk al die fietsse. Fiets is myne. Kyk al die fietsse. Fiets is myne.
Anybody? Jade? Jade says die.
Yes, die fiets is myne. You could also say hierdie fiets is myne of daardie fiets is myne. Yes. Okay. That activity will go in your book in a moment. I'm just going to put a page on the screen. I'm just going to present a page. Aanwysende voornaamwoorde. These are examples. We're just looking at them. You don't have to write them down. So, die aanwysende voornaamwoord is in vet gedruk. The pronouns written in bold. So die een was my ma se ring. Now imagine the scene where you have a few rings and someone is pointing out the one that belonged to their mother. Die een was my ma se ring. So it's to be specific when you are talking about an item. Volgende een, dit lyk soos die motor waarmee ek gery het. This looks like the car that I drove with. If you are walking down the street and there's a car that is the same as the one you had driven, then you would say that dit, and you would point out that car specifically. Volgende een. Just going to put it at the top. Dit is mooi skoene, maar hulle lyk ongemaklik. These are pretty shoes, but they look uncomfortable. Again, imagine you're looking at a pair of shoes and you're saying that they're pretty, but they look uncomfortable. So it's to be specific. You can't just have all of the shoes in the shop and say that they're all pretty, but they look uncomfortable. You're pointing out a specific pair. Dit lyk riper as die appels op my boom. They look riper than the apples on my tree. So you are pointing out an apple or apples. Daardie borde moet weggeneem word. Now, there might be a table full of plates and you are being pointed at a specific pile of plates. Daardie borde moet weggeneem word. So they don't want all of it taken away, just the ones that are being pointed out. Nie een van hierdie antwoorde is korrek nie. Not one of these answers are correct. Imagine you get your test back and there's different sections, and the one section you didn't get anything right. So the teacher would say, nie een van hierdie antwoorde is korrek nie. So she would point out the section that's incorrect. En dan nie een van die perde kan gery word nie. Not one of these horses could be ridden. And then you could have a paddock with horses and another one, and they would point out the horses that couldn't be ridden. So to be specific, but not have to say, die perde wat onder die boom staan, kan nie gery word nie. That's a very long way of saying it. Instead of just saying, een van die perde kan gery word nie. Scrolling down. Okay, this is the exercise we're going to do. I'll get there in a moment. Are there any questions? Anybody unsure?
No? Everybody's fine.
Are you sure, people? So, in your book, I want you to write the heading aanwysende voornaamwoorde. And the date. You have it on your page. So Julie, the date is the 21st. 21 Julie. Nou, as jy die opskrif geskryf het, gaan jy die bladsy voor jou uitsny en in jou boek inplak. You're going to cut out the page in front of you and stick it into your book.
Mrs. Bingy, this is the one with the little pictures on it.
Sorry?
Is the handout that they're working on now? This is the one that says Craft 6 Afrikaans voorspelling.
No, aanwysende voornaamwoorde. It looks like.
Still on that one, okay.
I don't know if you can see that.
You're still on that one, okay. Yeah, now we've got it.
Okay. While you're cutting out, you can do those 4 examples we went through. So you have to choose die, hierdie, daardie of dit.
The heading is aanwysende voornaamwoorde. So on your screen,
I'm just going to put this up. And then I'd like you to write in the English in those blocks. So die, this, hierdie, these, daardie, those, dit, that. So you can see those. Once you've written that down, I'm going to put the next page on the screen, and you're going to do the questions there. Going to stop recording now.